Well, today we talk about how to boost our walking regimen with wearing the proper walking shoes. And research has shown that the importance of exercise walking for our health and well-being is very important. A brisk walk can burn up to 100 calories per mile. Walking is the perfect complement to a sensible diet to lose weight and keep it off. However, we cannot forget that wearing proper walking shoes is an essential element to maintaining correct walking technique as well as preventing injury. And so we will look at the best walking shoes for women and discuss the American Podiatric Medical Association recommendations for walking your feet. And so this is written and talked about and discussed by the American Podiatric Medical Association. And it's talking about walking and your feet. As I've said, research has shown that walking improves cardiovascular fitness. Walking gets the heart beating faster to transport your oxygen rich blood from the lungs to the muscles. The heart and lungs grow more efficient with a regular walking regimen, reducing blood pressure and the resting heart rate. Walking is even a central element of medical rehabilitation, including cardiac rehab programs. Yeah, all of the cardiac rehabilitative programs have you walking on the treadmill or biking or doing some type of aerobic something. Um, Walking overall is an excellent regimen for increasing overall health benefits. Walking also helps control weight, blood sugar, and cholesterol levels. A brisk walk, as we said, can burn up 100 calories per mile. And we want you, if you're out there trying to lose weight, make sure you combine that. We say the combo effect. Make sure you combine that with healthy eating and walking, and you're pretty much good to go. You're pretty much good to go. But we're going to touch on a little in some of the important elements on wearing proper walking shoes and why you need to think about that. According to the American Podiatric Medical Association, the ideal walking shoe should be stable from side to side, well cushioned, and it should enable you to walk smoothly. Many running shoes fit all these criteria and for most people are acceptable for a walking program. However, there are specialty walking shoes that may work well for you. These tend to be slightly less cushioned, yet not as bulky and lighter than running shoes. Most important, whether you are wearing a walking or a running shoe, is that it must feel stable to you. Either type of shoe is acceptable if it works well with your foot mechanics, providing cushioning and stability. That is fine as well. Shoes should always feel comfortable and fit well in the store. Don't cut corners on your shoe budget. Buying shoes is the only real expenditure necessary for the sport of walking. So treat your feet well. Visit the shoe store. Here's something to remember. Visit the shoe store late in the afternoon when your feet are slightly swollen. This is when you're likely to be walking anyway. And so wear the same socks to the store that you will wear while walking. Try on at least 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. Put on and lace both shoes of each pair and walk around for a minute or two. Remember that every shoe manufacturer uses a different basic shoe shape or what they call last. So some lasts are shorter or longer than others of the same size. Some fit a wide foot perfectly, while others are cut for a slimmer foot. And so before buying, check the shoe's quality with the vertical heel test. You're going to place the shoe on the store's counter and make sure that the heel is straight up when looking at it from the back. Is the midsole well connected to the upper? Is the stitching complete? Check inside the shoe for any irregular bumps. When the shoes are on your feet, the heel should be snug. If it slides in the store, it will slide while you are walking. You should be able to wiggle your toes in the shoe. There should be 1/2 to a full thumb's width between the end of the longest toe on your longer foot and the end of the shoe's toe box. Make sure your ankles don't roll in the shoes. If you have bunions or other special considerations, consult your podiatrist about the best shoe for you. If you have prescription inserts, substitute your insert for the existing one. Most shoes have a removable insole, so make sure it will fit properly if possible. And so those are some key things to think about when you go shopping. But we're going to take a look at this article where it talks about best walking shoes for women according to podiatrists, and it was written by Everyday Health. Okay, so this article says best walking shoes for women according to podiatrists. Walking is pretty much a given for most people every day, doing errands, daily walks with the dog, or just living life. Whether you walk 1,000 steps or 10,000, the right shoes for the job are crucial. We tested many popular options to find the best walking shoes for women. In addition to months of testing, we interviewed podiatrists and foot specialists for their take on the best models and what you need to know before you purchase a new pair. And then they put spoiler alert: fit, cushioning, breathability, and traction top the must-have list. Ready to dive in? Check out the 9 best walking shoes for women that we tested.
So best overall is Brooks Ghost, number 15. And as you know, we all, well, maybe the group used to know, I used to be this big runner, so I'm familiar with most of these. Some of them I'm not. Brooks
Brooks, yeah.
Ghost 15, that's the best overall.
Mhm.
The best for plantar fasciitis, which can really be a bear, an inflammation of this tendon on the bottom of your foot. And the New Balance Women's Fresh Foam X1080 V13 shoe, best for women over 50. The Brooks Addiction Walker number 2. Best slip-on, and I'm still trying to find these. The Skechers Women's Go Walk Arch Fit. I'm still trying to find that shoe.
Mhm.
Best lower back pain, MBT Women's Sport 4 Active Fitness Walking Shoe. Best for flat feet. Now, I'm not familiar with this brand.
Me either.
Noyat Krypton. Best for wide feet. The Hokas. I love the
Yeah,
Hokas. I
yeah.
just got introduced to those this year. The Hoka Bondi 8. Best for high arches. The Nike Motiva. And the most cushioned, the Adidas Ultra Boost 23. And
Oh,
so I'll do the best overall number one.
okay. Okay, yes.
Brooks. The Brooks Ghost 15, and I like that shoe. That's a good best standard shoe. Durable construction,
Mhm.
full width, supportive arch, mesh, uh, a breathable mesh. What are the cons? Slippery on wet surfaces. Well, you have to be careful with that with any.
With
High
any
drop, any of them. So
Mhm.
if you want a comfortable shoe to walk in, look no further than the Brooks Ghost 15. These beloved sneakers come in more than 30 different colors and are available in 4 widths: narrow, medium, wide, and extra wide. These shoes provide plenty of cushioning. Says these shoes provide extra widening. These shoes provide plenty of cushioning, says Sabrina Tillman, an editorial director at Everyday Health. The foot feels cocooned yet flexible, soft, not stiff, to move over many miles. I've run 10 plus miles at one time in mine and have walked 5 mile stretches on mixed terrain of gravel, dirt, and concrete sidewalks. These shoes always feel comfortable and supportive. We're fans of ample room for our toes to sway when walking, and the Ghost 15s deliver with a wide toe box. The shoe's upper is made of perforated mesh and is breathable, which is ideal for hot days on long walks. We're also fans of the construction. 57% of the materials used are recycled, and the shoe is certified as a carbon neutral product. At 12 millimeters, Brook shoes have a hefty drop. This is great for folks who want to minimize lower leg strain, but it isn't ideal for those who have existing knee or hip issues, such as a higher drop will put more emphasis on these areas. It's worth noting that the Ghost 15s are neutral, not stability shoes. Neutral shoes are excellent choices for people who don't need any correction or support in their foot strike. If you tend to overpronate or supinate, meaning your foot rolls in or out when striking the ground, you better be off with a stability shoe. And this is why I encourage people. We're not here to support any kind of shoe, but there's a new shoe store in town that I noticed the other day that I used to go to when I was in North Carolina. The name escapes me. I'll mention it before we end. Where you
Mhm,
go in and they have professionals watch you walk because
mhm.
they need to see if your foot slide is pronating or supinating, because you just can't run into Walmart and throw some shoes on and have a good day. That's
No,
just not the way this works.
nope, nope. And it makes a difference over time whether
Yeah,
you have feet, your feet are always hurting and stuff. So you got to
right,
have the correct shoes, most especially if you're walking and doing exercise.
right. Oh, I know the one here is Second Soul. That's one of the places here in town
Okay.
that's very good for that. And I'll mention the other one that just moved, came to town the other day. I mean,
Okay.
a few months ago.
So Second Soul is a store where you can go
Second
in.
Soul. Yes.
Okay. Well, the best for plantar fasciitis, if you have issues with that, the New Balance, I like New Balance women's. This one is Fresh Foam X 1080 V13 shoe. And one thing I will have to say, make sure you go back to this article in Everyday Health, best walking shoes for women, because they have right when they talk about the shoe, they have the button to go mash it and buy it.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. So New Balance women's, their pros for this shoe, well cushioned, 6 meter drop. So it's a little bit, the other one I think was 10 or 12. This one is right in the middle, 6. Durable outsole, lightweight. Some of the cons would be soles can be slippery and a bulky tongue. If you have plantar fasciitis, you experience inflamed tissue in your heel. To mitigate the pain, you should look for a shoe that's cushioned, offers arch support, and fits you well. Overall, New Balance makes some of the best footwear for walking, says a podiatrist, Bruce Pinker. We were impressed with the Fresh Foam X 1080 V13's cushioning, which is soft and feels like it almost propels you forward with each step. Additionally, the 6 millimeter drop doesn't raise the wearer's heel significantly, which is helpful for people with plantar fasciitis. These shoes are extremely lightweight at 7.3 ounces, which makes them easy to wear, but if it's rainy or slippery, we wouldn't recommend wearing these sneakers. The traction isn't stellar on wet surfaces, so opt for a different pair if you're walking somewhere where the ground is wet. It's worth noting that the tongue of this shoe is bulky, so if you also want to run in these shoes, the tongues may feel uncomfortable.